My name is Frances Haugen, and I am an algorithmic specialist who spent over 15 years in Silicon Valley working on products like Google search quality, feed composition and ranking at Pinterest, machine learning at Yelp, and then the reason most people know about me is I am a whistleblower from Facebook. During my time there, I came to understand the immense consequences of a long series of decisions that were made at Facebook. That over and over again, Facebook, because they were operating behind a curtain, because there was no accountability, Facebook chose time and time again to prioritize profit over people's safety. I'm here today partially to remind people that while people in Western Europe or in the United States can easily opt out of using Facebook's products, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's WhatsApp, there's at least 1 billion people in the world for whom the internet and Facebook are synonyms, right? That 80 or 90% of all the content in their language only exists on Facebook. There really isn't a choice to opt out in that context. And the thing that I saw over and over again in the Facebook documentation was that they undervalued the safety of non-English languages. That Facebook, when faced with where to invest their misinformation funding, it overwhelmingly, 87% went to English, even though English users were only maybe 9% of the population. We have an opportunity to act, right? We cannot continue on our current course. In the last couple of weeks, the ethnic cleansing in Myanmar that it was ruled as being driven by Facebook was officially declared a genocide in the United States. Things like Myanmar, things like the events in Ethiopia that unfolded over the last few years, these are just the opening chapters of what the consequences are of letting a for-profit company run the internet. And we have an opportunity as people who are standing in Western Europe and the United States to act because we have much more influence over this trillion-dollar corporation. The Digital Services Act is nearing completion. We have a landmark piece of legislation that will do things like guarantee access to data for researchers so that the public has an independent ruler of, is progress being made on our safety? Are we in danger from the choices that Facebook has made? It enshrines a duty of care of saying you need to design for safety from the start, and you need to disclose your risks to the public so we can choose what products to use or not use. That moment is now. We need to push for ratification at the EU level and at the level of the individual member states. The United States and Europe are running on slightly different velocities for getting to a common point of regulation. I strongly believe that part of why Europe is so much ahead in this race is that Europe is a much more linguistically diverse place. One of the things that we saw time and time again in Facebook's documents was that Facebook underinvested in the safety of people who don't speak English. And Europe knows languages other than English matter. And so I'm very glad that Europe is taking a stand for linguistic equity and making sure that everyone deserves a safe place on the internet. Sciences Po.